We are going to begin this part of the presentations with subtopic 2 of the 9 topics. The subtopic deals with from the beginning. And what do we mean from the beginning? We mean that we are going to begin with what the individual would be the most important aspect of the individual, and that is one's eye, or one could say one's soul, or one could say the incorporeal part of one's individual existence. And we are going to begin this section with a discussion of mathematics and how it can tell us things about our incorporeal self. But why mathematics? Well, mathematics is a universal language. In addition, mathematics does not present a sense of bias or a sense of preconditioning in terms of what one believes and thinks and feels. Now, it is true that someone once said there are lies, and then damn lies, and then statistics. Well, statistics is, without a doubt, an aspect of mathematics. But it is not the statistics which lie. It is how the individuals use the mathematics of statistics to reinforce their bias. That being the case, we are still going to use mathematics and the purity of mathematics and the very fact that mathematics is a universal language. Mathematics may not appear to be relevant to the discussion of God, but the analogy of mathematics and God is undeniable. Discrete mathematics deals with the separate, distinct, individual existence. 2 is 2, 3 is 3. The number 2 and the number 3 are distinct, discrete, separate numbers. The concept of discrete, separate, distinct individuals applies not only to discrete mathematics, but applies equally to the true essence of the individual found within the human species. But what do we mean by the word discrete? Discrete means that which can be perceived individually and not as connected to or a part of something else. The mathematical field of geometry, for the purposes of this work, depicts the concept of discrete existence, since geometry is built upon the concept of pictures, and geometry deals with the concept of perfection, such as circles, straight lines, squares. Those concepts we can visualize in a form of perfection. But there are no such existences located within World 1, located within the physical universe. The only world within which one can find perfect circles, perfect squares, is World 2, the world of the ethereal. World 1, the physical universe, is a world of imperfection. Thus, the appropriateness of the phrase, "you are only human." But what of geometry and the understanding of the new meaning of the word God? To better understand a new meaning of the word God, we will begin where geometry begins. The very first 7 words written in the 13 books of Euclid's Elements, as translated by Sir Thomas Heath, is a point is that which has no part. From such a statement evolves a unique understanding of arithmetic and algebra, Euclidean geometry, non-Euclidean geometry, trigonometry, and so forth. From such a statement evolves the concept of discrete, separate, distinct, and the concept of the ethereal itself. For a point is adjacent to no point, for between any 2 points exists an infinite number of other distinct points, separate points. What then of the individual? The first step to better understanding self lies likewise in a few words, in 8 words. A self is that which has no part. Or to put it in terms of the 4th way, an I is that which cannot be divided. An individual is like a point, distinct, separate, discrete in relationship to all other individuals. So just what is this spirit, this true essence, this I of which we have spoken over and over again? Some have suggested this true essence, this spirit, this I is a consciousness, but it is more than consciousness. It is knowing. Knowing is a higher state of consciousness. As Bennett pointed out in his book Gurdjieff, A Very Great Enigma, he says something to the effect, true consciousness is the reverse, is something different than what we humans call consciousness. He says behind our regular consciousness there is another consciousness, a type of reversal, if you wish, of consciousness. Animals are conscious of their environment. Animals are hungry, but animals do not know. They are hungry, they sense their hunger, and react accordingly. Animals react on the basis of level 1, the physical, and level 2, the emotional. Some would suggest a few animals react on the basis of what we in the Gurdjieff Society refer to as level 3, or the rational. This may or may not be true, but regardless, no animals of which we are aware fall into the category of level 3, fall into the category of being rational beings. There is no doubt many humans love or hate and do not rise above such awareness. Most humans do not rise above animalistic reactions of level 1 and level 2, the physical and the emotional. But there is no doubt that many of our species do apply reasoning and rationality to their actions. In fact, there are a few individuals that not only apply reasoning and rationality to their actions, but know they are doing this very thing when they act as a level 3. This second form of consciousness, this level we might appropriately label as a state of knowing, can easily be conceived as points of knowing, as demonstrated in figure 9.2. The point representing all discrete elements of divine sparks of knowing. And so it is the symbol of the eternally unchanging, as demonstrated in the diagram of everything living, begins its formation. The point represents elements of the discrete, elements of discrete individuality. elements of eyes, and is the dot represented within the two circles of the eternally unchanging symbol. Beginning with an understanding regarding the symbolic representation of the discrete being represented as a point, the new meaning of the word God begins its process of unfolding. If we as individuals are truly made in the image of God, as is stated by both East and West, where Genesis states, "And God says, let us make man in our image, after our likeness." And from the East, the Bhagavad Gita states, Krishna says, "I established this whole universe with a single portion of myself and remain separate." Then it becomes rationally understandable as to why the center of the symbol of the eternally unchanging and the symbol of the absolute found in the top two boxes of the diagram of everything living is symbolized as a point, representing individuality, separation, discreteness, representing the discrete elements of the divine, representing divine sparks, representing the true essence of the individual, or as we say in the Gurdjieff Society, representing one's I, representing the I of all discrete beings capable of knowing. The next presentation will deal with the eternally unchanging. We'll deal with the creation of the symbol for the eternally unchanging.